going on for you and how you're hoping to embed creativity in your schools. If it's okay with everybody, I'd like to be able to record this session if that's okay, because we have a number of people that tell us that they'd like to watch again, which is always good. So hopefully we are recording, and that's great. So we want to get to as many teachers as possible across the city so that they all get to hear about what fabulous things they can be getting involved with and connecting with each other. So shall we do some introductions? Let's have a look. If I go down the list, it would be brilliant to hear from all of you. Just where you're from and kind of how you're feeling about your kind of a brief introduction about where you're at in terms of creativity in school and your connections to arts organisations in the city. That would be so fabulous. You know, whether you feel like you're on it, you know, you work with lots of different people, or you're kind of just starting out and you're really looking for those extra connections. So I'm going to pick on the teachers because I'll pick on the arts providers later, if that's okay. The arts providers will get a chance to give us their 5-minute slots, so that they can tell you about their current programmes and things that they're doing and their core offers. But I'll pick on some teachers to give just a brief introduction. So can I start with Alice, who I know will tell us a bit more later about your fabulous project too, but if you just introduce yourself.
Thank you, Cathy. Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Alice Ellsmore. I'm here representing Welbeck Primary, and I am the Performing Arts Lead there. Fantastic role. So responsible for dance and music, coordinating that within the school. We have a fantastic relationship with the Nottingham Music Hub and have lots of opportunities of things going on creatively in school, but always room as well to develop. And I am going to talk a little bit later about our new project. Yeah. Thanks, Cathy.
Thank you. Emma Dowse. Emma, are you there? If you unmute yourself and just give a quick introduction. No sign of Emma. She's here somewhere. We'll come back to you, Emma. Julie or Jay Walker.
Hello, it's Yola Walker.
Oh, Yola. Hi.
And I am here together with Jess.
Hello.
And we are representing our art department. Our coordinator is at a different meeting. So I do a little bit of art through the outdoor environment, forest school and other things. And
I'm doing the music side of things. So I've just started in September taking over the music side of things. So it'd be lovely to get some ideas tonight.
Oh, brilliant. Welcome.
And we'll pass it on to the team and make sure that we will get help from you and loads of ideas how to get involved.
And which school was it you're from again? Remind me.
Victoria Primary.
Victoria Primary. Brilliant. Thank you. Can we move on to Jane? Thomas.
Sorry, I'm late arriving. Am I just introducing myself?
Yes, and how you're feeling
sorry.
about arts in your school, whether you feel like you're on top of the world or like really wanting to engage with more people.
I feel I'm Jane Thomas. I'm assistant head of cultural sorry, I'm running around and curriculum lead at Old Baysford Primary, and I'm a year 2 teacher. I feel like we're on a journey. We're an RSC lead school, associate school, so that's brilliant. That's going really well. I've signed up to be part of the creative collaboratives, so excited to see what's going to happen with that. So yeah, we're open to stuff, and I've just been running around giving out tickets to the concert hall for the School of Rock performance tomorrow, and just giving out 220 tickets, so that's amazing. So we feel like we're that's because we're an associate RSC school, Royal Shakespeare Company School. So we've got such an amazing thing that we're doing with that, and getting some freebies, and it's just lovely. So yeah, we're on a journey, but always room for more.
Yeah, brilliant. Sounds great. I hope you get to go and enjoy School of Rock too.
No, I can't go.
Oh,
My PPA afternoon. Boo. I know.
oh.
Jane, just it'd be great to hear one day about how the RSC associate school system works and what it means, because not everybody will know. So maybe as a session, you could give us, maybe spare some time to give us an outline of that and what it means for the school.
Yeah, I will next time.
Right.
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you.
Great. Can I go to Julie Doyle next, please?
Hi, yes you can. Hello. So my name's Julie Doyle and I'm from Snenton CB Primaries, that's Nottingham City. I've got lots of hats in school, but one of my newer hats is Partnership and Enrichment Lead. So we are very, very aware that our children are still disadvantaged in terms of cultural capital. So we're looking at every which way and more to try to level that playing field. So we have a very creative approach to our curriculum. We were shortlisted for the Teams Creative School Awards this year. So we're doing things right. So that is good, but we've still got a long way to go. So I like it when the lady previously said we're on a journey. So, you know, we have a very creative curriculum, but desperate to see who else we can hook into really, and see if we can change a few more little lives along the way.
Thank you, that's brilliant. Thank you, Julie. Pat Fielding, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, so here I am. Sorry, yeah, Pat, working with Nottingham Schools Trust. Yeah, a commitment to the arts and the broader and deeper curriculum. Constantly trying to find ways, as the lady just speaking from Snenton pointed out, to increase that kind of cultural and artistic experience for the children. We run 2 networks focused on this area of the curriculum. I'm very interested and supportive of the project that Alice is going to talk about later on. Yeah, that's probably enough.
Yeah, great. Thank
There
you.
we go. Thank you.
Next on my list is Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hiya, I'm Our Ladies in Bulwell. We're always on a journey for something. It never stops. I mean, this week it's Kindness Week, isn't it? Anti-bullying. We've got road safety, and it's like so many things to do to enrich our children's lives. And yeah, my journey is to teach art or design technology to all the schools. We've signed up for our second go at the Arts Mark, so we're just getting that sorted, and we're also going to embark on the eco schools as well. In fact, they've got a new system now in place, so we've just started all of that. So yeah, but anything else that's on offer around to enrich would be great to hear about. So yeah, thank you.
Great. And I'm just reading off my list, St Mary's head teacher.
Hello. I'm lucky to have made it home before the meeting, so I've got another meeting at 4:30. So, but I know exactly how you feel, Jane, all the time running about pillar post. So, yeah, we have had linked in the past with New Art Exchange quite a bit, so we're just building that back up again. So we've managed to get down there this term after COVID and start to interact with some of the work going on there, which is great. So we hope to continue that. We've got good connections with the Nottingham Music Hub, so we have them in every week, and we're doing guitarists at the minute, so that's really strong. So we'll access some of the Christmas work that's happening at the Royal Concert Hall. We accessed the Primary and Parliament Day the other day, the Eco Day, so that was great fun, really enjoyed by the children. We're accessing Arts Mark round 2 again, so hopefully we'll go for gold, and trying to look into the eco school bits as well, so just trying to get our fingers in as many pots as possible while having Ofsted looming, which is a bit more trying to get that balance on what we focus on.
Yeah, amazing, thank you. We've just been joined by Mallory Wilson. Mallory, we're just doing some introductions, and if you're from a school, to just say where you're up to and how you feel creativity in your schools is going.
That's great. I don't have much of a voice, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'm from Heathfield High School in Baseford. What was the second bit? Sorry.
It was really just a quick snapshot of how you're feeling in terms of art in your school and creativity across the school. Whether you feel like you're at the beginning of a journey, whether you've got loads of connections and collaborations already underway. But feel free to write something in the chat if it's very hard to speak. I don't want you to, yeah, don't worry. Do that.
I'll just say, I can keep it very brief. I think we're more at the start because we're just building sort of communications with various people. We've got a couple of regular people who offer us activities and things that bring more diversity into school in terms of creativity. But I would say we need a few more contacts, a few more things.
Fabulous. Next, can I just come to Liz Muse? I think Liz is here as well. I don't know if you've had a chance to meet everybody already that's in the room, but it'd be lovely for everyone to say hi.
Hi, sorry, my son's just come home from school and he was just telling me about what notes he was playing in orchestra, so I got totally distracted for a second. Sorry. Yes, hi, I'm Liz. I am the new ArtSmart consultant supporting schools in Nottingham and Nottinghamshire. I'm trying to fill the very big shoes left by the wonderful Nettie Scriven. Some of you may know me from, I worked with Nottingham Music Hub for a long time, 3 or 4 years ago. So my knowledge of city schools is quite good from a music perspective. And as you will probably know from previous interactions with Nettie, my role is really to support schools with the ArtSmart process, answer any queries. I can come in and chat through. I can support you with your different statements. So please, do keep in touch. I'm making a couple of notes of where people are mentioning they've just started on ArtSmart, so I'll drop you a line to see how things are going. So I'll put my email address in the chat and then feel free to get in touch. Is that all you need to know, Kathy?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, just please do use the chat tonight over the next hour to chat between yourselves and kind of make those connections as well, or share your emails and things like that. I think Emma was having trouble just getting unmuted. So Emma, I don't know if you're able to do it now and say a quick hello, or if not, then just jot something in the chat. That'll be fine. So Martin, would you like to kick us off with a quick update on where you're hoping, what we're going to cover over the next hour?
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have an input, as we say, from some of our arts and cultural professionals from around the city. So that's just the sort of, if those of you remember the old Teach Meets, your 5-10 minutes input, quick blast about what's current, what's happening, how you can get engaged. Then we're going to have Alice with the long-awaited briefing, if you like, the creative collaboratives, which would be fantastic. We're all looking forward to that. And then I'll finish off probably with a session just about the work I've been doing around looking at your curriculum. So I've done some more work since we last met around the curriculum that many of the schools are following in the city, and seeing how we can best support you in developing your creative curriculum, arts and cultural curriculum from the work that we're doing within the Cultural Rucksack. I'll perhaps outline more of that a little bit later on, because I'd really value some thoughts from yourselves about how we present some of the information that I'm gathering, so it's presented in a way that is of most use to you at the end of the day. And also some updates as well I'll do just about where we are with various projects within the Cultural Rucksack. So that's really what we're looking at doing today. I'm distracted by this pen that I've got here. It says recycled from money. I'd rather have the money. Anyway, there you go. So that just distracted me for a second, but it's nice to see someone's recycling there. So that's what we're hoping to do. So Kathy, I think you've got a good idea of who's coming at us from, from the.
Yeah, should we get started on our 5 minute slot?
So that's the aim of today anyway, the outline of today.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you. So if it's okay with everyone, we'll do a round now where some of the arts providers that have been able to join us today can tell you their quick kind of 5 minutes of the things that you're able to engage with them on. So could I come to Charlotte Tupper first, please? from the Contemporary.
Sure. Hi, yeah, hi everybody. Yes, I'm the primary schools programmer at Nottingham Contemporary, and I've put together a quick PowerPoint of showing. Oh, how do I do this? Is it going to do it? No. What can you see? Oh, let me. I just wanted to show I put together a. Where is it? How do I share a PowerPoint that I've made? Kathy, how do I do that?
Charlotte, have you already got it open on your screen?
Yeah.
So I think you should be able to go to more actions.
Yeah, I'm in the top with screen.
Let's have a look.
And then can you...
If you do the little arrow next to your microphone, it should say open share tray. And your PowerPoint screen should pop up for you to click on.
Technology. Yeah, I am on the share content, but it's not coming up with. I practiced this earlier. No. Sorry. Window.
Charlotte, I'm happy. We could share something around following the meeting if you like.
Yeah, or actually, could you share on the? Could you get onto the Nottingham Contemporary website and I'll share. I can share from there. If you could. That's why is it not content on screen? Oh, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yay! Sorry about that. Yes. So.
Oh, you got it.
Great, brilliant. So we have two main school offers at Nottingham Contemporary. We have self-led visits, which are free, and we also have artist experience workshops. And we can accommodate up to 60 children in one visit. And we have all our safety measures on our website, which I'll show you in a minute too, including COVID risk assessments, and we send out information about the exhibitions prior to any visit as well. So yeah, with our self-led visits, we've just relaunched these now after a long time of only having artist workshops. And we always have resources and activities available that you can do in the galleries. So we really promote the galleries as like an extension of the studio and a space to make art and be noisy and interact as well with the exhibitions. We have spaces for lunch as well. That's often a request from schools. And we do have lots of different activities. So normally on a self-led visit, a school can come for as long as they want, but visits tend to normally be about 2 hours long, and through a conversation with myself, kind of choosing the resources and activities which are relevant for the students to do. And then with our artist experience workshops, these are subsidised, so they're £100 for city schools and 120 for county or beyond. And if you want to bring 2 classes of 30, then we have 2 artists to run that session, and it's only an extra £55, so we don't charge double, even though you get 2 artists, because it's also within that 2-hour workshop. And these are always tailored, so I really do want to emphasise that it's the artists and teachers working together and planning a workshop that supports a topic or a theme with a school, but also works with the content of our exhibition or our gallery space. We've also delivered workshops where students meet our front of house team and there's something that's got more of a careers focus to it, or they look at the building itself with the architecture of it. So that they're always unique and kind of one-off experiences. And so yeah, recently we had Rise Park Primary School that visited during changeover. So we didn't have any exhibitions on, but they came as part of a history tour they were doing around the city. They were looking at Jessie Boots, and they came and had lunch in the space, and they did lots of texture rubbings and we're looking at lace, because also our building has got lace printed into the concrete, and that was a free visit, so they came for an hour and a half as part of their other school trip. And like I said, with tailoring sessions, like it doesn't always have to link with our exhibition. It can link with the acoustics of the gallery, or a curatorial aspect of how artwork is, the artworks are put together. So yeah, we really do try to work with schools on an individual basis. We also deliver teacher CPDs, so we started to deliver these in person again. We had a really successful teacher session in September, experimenting with sculpture and painting, and we've got our next one coming up next week, so next Thursday, which is exploring the future with art, and it's practical art making in the galleries, and there's also refreshments as well. And again, they're a conversation with teachers, so it's not only teachers finding out more how to book a school visit or what to expect, but also how to bring these themes and exhibitions back into the classroom. And to have a dialogue and a conversation with teachers as well about different approaches using contemporary art. I also really quickly want to show you our website. This is where you can book the teacher CPD through Eventbrite, and also our Learn page is called Exchange. So I've in conversation with some teachers, I know sometimes it can be quite difficult to navigate. So on or if you click on Exchange, it's where you can find everything to do with learning. I wanted to highlight our Families programme, because I know some schools are using this, especially for Key Stage 1, and there's lots of activities to do. They often include downloadable activities that you can do. We have some videos. This one's a really lovely one here. It's got some students from Huntingdon Academy, and it's also they're also got BSL interpretation as well. And you can download these activities to do in the classroom as well as at home. And I mean, yeah, if you look at these activities as well, that's phonics, so it's also cross-curricular with literacy and speech and language, as well as so yeah, on the Families programme, there's lots of really lovely activities using, I mean, Best Nest uses newspaper. There's activities around curating objects in the home. And we are working with a couple of schools through our Schools of Tomorrow programme, where a lot of these activities are going out to families as well. So it's not only just working with the school, but working with the wider community as well. And then I just wanted to highlight our virtual reality. So we received some funding from the Mighty Creatives 2.5 years ago, and we started to and we used it to find ways to make our VR exhibitions more, I'll just show you the videos, more accessible for schools. And then the pandemic hit, and then after the pandemic we realised it was more important than ever to find ways to bring contemporary art back into the classroom. So we delivered a series of workshops with Nottingham Academy Primary and Secondary School to translate our gallery activities into activities you could do in the classroom, and again exploring the cross-curricular aspect of protest banners and activism, as well as core art principles of shape, colour and line. And this will link with our popular Bauhaus exhibition as well. And our most recent project we've been working on, Better Books, which I'm sure many of you will know about with Nottingham citizens. So we've been campaigning with Nottingham citizens for the last 1.5 years after the murder of George Floyd, and with to celebrate all of the new culturally and racially diverse children's books that have gone out to the city primary schools, we created some pre-recorded workshops with Roslyn Park Primary School in Aspley. So we have some free workshops that celebrate storytelling and literacy and a love of reading. And we also worked with a really brilliant storyteller, Alison Solomon, and she has she's got 2 storytelling workshops here for Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, where she reads extracts from the book Sulwe and also the book Ghost Boys, which is for upper Key Stage 2. And because of the sensitive content of better books, we've got lots of guidance and information as well about how to create an environment where children feel listened to, and techniques and tools to support teachers as well. Here's some photographs of the project. So that's what we've been up to. I can put my email address in the chat as well, so if you have any questions or would like to get in touch about a visit.
That's amazing. Thanks, Charlotte. There's so much there.
Yeah. Have I stopped sharing my screen now? Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, I'm a bit echoey. Would you mind going back on mute, Charlotte? Thank you. That's amazing. So much going on at the Contemporary. Hopefully some of you have been able to watch some of those videos. If you haven't seen them yet, please do watch. They're really, really interesting. I'm going to go to Laura from the Freedom Foundation, and then Rick, if that's okay. Is Laura there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi.
Hi, sorry, I muted and went straight back on. So I'm Laura Grant from Freedom Foundation. We run programmes across junior and senior schools using music and dance to help with physical and mental well-being. We are an ArtsMark partner and have worked with a number of schools across the city to provide the Arts Award. I'm going to share my screen and just show you a quick 1-minute video that outlines 2 of the main programmes that we do in primary schools, and that will hopefully give you a better overview than me talking. So hopefully I can share. Okay. Make sure that you can hear it. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay.
Do you want to make it full screen?
Station is a social enterprise which children create depression as a result of social media, using street dance, singing and songwriting as a platform. Young people share their feelings and what challenges they may be facing. With so many young people left feeling unsure about their future, doubting their abilities, misplaced views of body image and self-worth, we have devised a number of programmes to ignite their creativity and enable children to be physically active and mentally reactive. Our Freedom Factory programme offers children an insight into the music industry whilst developing their individual songwriting skills and unlocking any hidden talents. Our motivational mornings are delivered during tutor time and through our new digital hub online. This programme gives children the opportunity to embrace the power of music to motivate mood and mindset at the start of their educational day.
Thank you. So they're 2 of our main programmes. Our Freedom Factory programme, which uses street dancing, hip hop and singing and songwriting. Obviously you can see some of the children in action there. Looks at how we use music and dance to enable children to really focus on their confidence, their aspiration and ambition. Certainly some of the work that we've done in the city schools, where we've focused a lot around aspiration and ambition and using the music industry as a platform to explore that. We've worked really hard. Martin, I was going to show some of the stuff, but I didn't want to steal your thunder around the Cultural Rucksack. But we've worked really hard at mapping our impact and outcomes to align with schools, particularly around school improvement outcomes. We've done a piece of work with Waterhalls around their music outcomes. I know some of you were talking about music really as a focus for your arts provision, and we've looked at their curriculum and the things that they want to achieve, and how that's the factory programme we're delivering there, how that factory programme really overlaps to enable them to meet those outcomes as a school, linked in with their school improvement plan, and particularly around the music and the arts provision that they're providing. Children there were working with year 3s and 6s there. So the programmes are delivered over a school term. We do drop down days on the motivational morning sessions, but normally across the whole term, or we can and are working in a couple of schools across the whole year, again, to make sure that we're looking at the arts provision and the outcomes that they are looking to see. We do also have a particular focus around social media and the impact that that has on mental and physical well-being. We're 4 years into our journey, and we started this looking at it about 5 years ago, and obviously particularly for the age group that your schools have, we all know that the impact of the pandemic, amongst many things, has been how younger children are using social media. So our messages are around healthy use of social media and how we can use music to be away from scrolling and technology, but also how to use it in a positive way and how to have healthy habits and use of social media. So that's a little snippet. Thank you for listening. I'll put my details in the chat, and please get in touch if you want to know any more.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Over to you, Rick.
Yes, thanks, Kathy. Great to see everybody. And can I just start by commending all of the schools and thanking all the schools that took part in Primary Parliament last week. 23 schools, I think, all looking at the impact of COP26 and the climate emergency. And it was the first time that we met face to face in the council house again on the Tuesday, which was marvellous. I'm here to talk about green light in the city, which I hope you can see on screen.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a collaborative project with Kathy and Challenge and both universities and Ignite and Hockley Hustle and various other partners. We've opened a space for conversation in the old Token House shop on Bridlesmith Gate, and it's open Wednesdays to Sundays, and you can see that it's got plenty of activities there for kids to come and make to develop placards and pledges and choral. So Wednesday to Sundays, 12 till 3, and the Nottingham Festival of Science and Curiosity. Please note the dates, the 7th and 16th of February, when we are also working through the Curiosity Project, which is this project for schools, and we'll be holding a real science in schools symposium at the council house on Thursday the 10th of February, and you're all very welcome to be part of that, and we have various resources there. So I think that's pretty much the two main things, Kathy. Just also to say how pleased I am to be making paper with pupils from Our Lady of Perpetual Succour on Mondays. We made paper on Monday out of banana skins and leek and bits of stuff. And how pleased I am to be going into Sneinton CV to look at new uses for new materials with year 5s. I think
Great.
that's true.
Fabulous, thanks, Rick. And we're all looking forward to the new show. So people will have watched Bulletin Watch last year, and we've got another show coming.
Yes, I know. Sorry, ever so quickly. Then I said I'd got a mind like a sieve. I've been thrown about all over the place. I was at Small Steps, Big Changes this morning, and Freedom Foundation were there as well, all about the Ideas Awards and things. But I've come back and forgotten to mention the Curiosity Show, which is the follow-on this year's festival from Bulletin Watch last year, which was mostly about nature and mostly from Woollerton Hall. This year it's not going to come from Woollerton Hall, and it's not going to be mostly about nature, but we're calling it the Curiosity Show. Those of you that are old enough might remember How, or even How To, but it's a program of pre-recorded material. So we have got slots still to record. It's going to be going out on Not TV, 4 o'clock from the 7th to the 11th of February, an hour-long show all about curious activities and interactions and projects and things as part of the Festival of Science and Curiosity.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rick. That's great. So speedily, I'm going to go over to Jane if she'd like to update us. Jane Williams from New Perspectives. Hello.
Hello. I was just furiously making notes there because there's so many exciting things happening that I've not kept up to date with. So that's brilliant. This is such a great platform. Thank you. I'm going dark, aren't I? I'm Participation Director with New Perspectives. We've got our new Artistic Director, Ang Harrod-Jones, who's just joined us in her 5th week, which is really exciting. So we're going to be exploring lots of new programmes for 2022 and beyond. We have a 50th anniversary to celebrate in 2023, so there'll be lots of connections made with schools. Hopefully you'll come on board and give us some ideas, and we'll work together on creating something to celebrate that. What we have out at the moment is Fair Play, which is a 6-part postcard adventure for children aged 5 to 11. I know I spoke with the wonderful Jane and various other people on this platform last time, hoping that it would be out in the autumn, but it's now just released for booking, and you can receive the postcards in the new year. So it's for families and schools. We do have some free spaces for schools that feel like there might be a financial barrier to it, and this was following a chat with Kathy, because Kathy's wonderful, as you all know. But obviously we're a charity and we have to cover some costs, but we've managed to get some funding in order to support that. So essentially how it works is the school receives 6 postcards written by a mystery writer, all stuck in various different places of a fairground. And just to give you a massive spoiler alert, the mystery character turns out to be Goosey from Goose Fair. So it fits really locally for our Nottingham Fair, but also it can be of interest nationally because it's quite loosely based on Goose Fair. But there are lots of other learnings around Goose Fair that you can do around it. And with each postcard, there's a QR code with additional activities for up to 12 hours so that children and young people can do those as well. And it's just about having fun with words. I've loved writing them and writing the worksheets that go with them. I just use silly puns, and there's even an organisation. There's a code to crack on each postcard. Farts appears a lot because I'm silly and I've not grown up yet, even though I'm 43. So it's lots of fun. If you want to sign up, I'll put a link in the chat. But so thank you for listening.
Thanks, Jane. Thank you so much. That's great. There's a few other people here to mention. So Joe from the National Justice Museum has joined us, I think. Hey, Joe.
Hello. Oh God, I am really dark. Jesus Christ. Sorry, hang on. Let me just.
Hello. Good to see you.
Hello. Vaguely better. so I'm not actually sat in the courtroom, just sort of with the background and stuff. So yeah, for those of you who may not have been to us before, the National Justice Museum is in High Pavement in Nottingham City Centre, and I always like to describe us as a one-stop stop for all things crime and punishment, basically. So if you haven't visited us before, we were the old Shire Hall and County Jail. So we have still the jail underneath us, which is mostly Georgian and Victorian in age. And we have our Victorian courtrooms. We have 3 courtrooms on site, 2 Victorian, 1 fairly more modern. And we have the Edwardian police station. And some of that was used until 1877 and some of it was used until 1987. So we still have people who remember using the courtrooms, and actually I have a member of staff who remembers standing in this exact courtroom about 7 times giving evidence as a police officer. So for school groups, we see children from Key Stage 1 all the way up to postgraduate. And they can get involved in putting on their own trials, again in this courtroom, either historical, some of which are linked directly to our building, or some of them are contemporary topics such as cyberbullying, robbery, knife crime. And then we also can do a visit around the museum. So you visit around the prison, meeting a couple of our characters, so the Georgian jailer and a Victorian character as well. So you just find out about crime and punishment through time. And then you can choose various different workshops that you can to do with that as well. So for the primary school groups, you can investigate a murder that's happened in Narrowmarsh in our Victorian CSI, looking at all the different clues. For both primary and secondary, there's object handling. And we obviously differentiate for the age groups. Also for secondary, we have capital punishment debates. But for primary, we also have our transportation and convict ship exhibition, which you can discover more about us sending some of the prisoners that were at the prison off to Australia. We also have on sort of that's our sort of general education program. We also run the City of Caves. So we do tours down at the caves and then some activities connected to that. So we have cave explorers where they all become mini archaeologists and get to dig around in sandpits and find objects and think about how the caves were used and who was in there. And we also have on the other side, not in our general education program as such, but we also have choices and consequences. And this is our anti-knife crime exhibition that was set up with the Ben Kinsella Trust, which was formed after the murder of Ben Kinsella in Islington in 2008. And that is from year 5 onwards. And we're an early prevention program, which we teach young people about the dangers of picking up a knife or being associated with someone who's perhaps doing that and the consequences of that. Yeah, I was teaching the year 6 group that today. If you're interested in any of those sort of things, I am the learning officer for that, so I am a good person to contact. So I'll throw my details in there if you want any more information. We are fully booked before Christmas on our general education program, so we're looking for, if you're looking for things after in the spring or summer term, we have definitely got space for that. But yeah, that's kind of our sort of our site in a nutshell, basically.
Thank you. Thanks, Joanne. So there's a few more people to come to, and a couple that haven't said they necessarily want to do a 5-minute talk, but I think it'd be really nice if you just knew who they were, or some of you will know them already, but I'd just like to come to Hannah from the Music Hub, the fabulous Music Hub, so you can say hello and share anything you'd like to share.
Hi, yes, I'm here. I'll try and put my camera on, although I'm not a particularly pretty sight. I've just been running off to put the light on, because like everybody else, I was kind of in the dark. Yeah, we've got all sorts going on with the Music Hub at the moment. I've probably bored many of you to death with emails about area bands and recordings for Christmas in the City. But what I would say is that looking ahead, we are hoping to have our Great Orchestra Experiment back next year in the flesh, which is good news. I can see Liz with her thumbs up. That's good. Thanks, Liz. So hopefully that will have positive consequences, not only for the kids, getting them involved in actually seeing live music and playing live music with professional musicians, but also those of you, and I know there are a few of you present who are part of UFO, might also get to come along and support our Robin Hood Youth Orchestra as part of that. So everything crossed that goes ahead. So yeah, please, if you have any questions about anything that's coming up with regard to our Christmas programme, just let me know. There's lots of things we can help you out with on that, because I know quite a lot of it's a little bit complicated, and where are we going for this recording and who's invited to that recording and when do we see Graham again and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all in my head. So if you want to ask me, I'm here. Please pick my brain. But yes, we'll keep you posted with all of the major events that are coming up. And just to say, it's really exciting stuff. I think my favourite thing at the moment is a transition project that we're looking at, which is going to involve practitioners from both upper key stage 2 and lower key stage 3, putting together schemes of work, units of work, which will begin in key stage 2 and then continue sequential learning when we come to key stage 3, which will not only again have positive consequences, hopefully for the pupils involved, but also for the music leads and teachers who are going to get a chance to work together from those two phases, sharing musical knowledge, sharing knowledge of the pupils involved, sharing knowledge of the journey that these pupils go on, and the cracks that they could fall between if we're not careful. So what we hope to do, obviously, as a music service is to encourage a real understanding of music, a real sequential learning of music, but also to support children to continue to learn instruments when they move from year 6 up to year 7, because that can be a real key point where kids just don't have those opportunities suddenly for one reason or another. And the more we can do to engage them, engage schools, and let schools know that, you know, we can support with this, we can continue to help these kids to learn when they get to year 7, the better. And that will obviously have knock-on effects across the city for ensembles and things like that. So yeah, exciting times. If anybody's got any questions, just give us a shout.
Brilliant, thanks Hannah. We're also joined by Vicky, who's back from maternity leave. Welcome, Vicky. Vicky, you there?
I am here. I'm just on mute. I've done that thing where you start talking and then you realise nobody can hear you. You're just talking to your own kitchen. Hello, I am Vicky Jones. I am from UK New Artists. We are based at Nottingham Trent University. I won't talk for very long because I'm back from maternity leave and I'm still working out what my name is and how to hold a pen. But essentially, we are an organisation. We're based in the Midlands, but we work nationally as well. And we support artists who are in the first 10 years of their career. So in any arts discipline or style. And my job is around engagement, and it's about connecting those artists with the rest of the world. And so we don't currently have a kind of regular programme of events for people to connect in with, but it's more if, you know, one day you wake up and think, I'd really like to do something that's connected to ceramics, or, well, we've never really done painting with a proper painter before, or maybe we could get in somebody that knows a lot about graffiti, or being a saxophonist, or a filmmaker, or photographer, or any possible thing you can think of. And if you drop me a line, we are connected to probably about 500 artists across the Midlands from all kinds of backgrounds. And yeah, my job is to kind of put the two of you in the same room, attempt to find you some money to do something lovely with, and then let you just go off and do lovely things, because that's a nice job, isn't it? In the past, we have worked with a school around Catentide, which for the uninitiated is the annual celebration of lace makers. So if you're doing things around lace and kind of Nottingham's history with that, we have a number of artists that have been in and kind of done hand lace making with students that have been then exhibited at various places around the city, and we've done various kind of dance and music and performance based projects with places like Non-Such Theatre and others. So I will pop my email in the chat, but if you have any thoughts, suggestions, or what could you possibly do with this, yeah, I'm always more than happy to help. I am also an Arts Award advisor. We've taken young people through all the awards. Also an Arts Mark partner. I used to work for Trinity College London, who run Arts Award and used to run Arts Mark. So I feel like I'm fairly up to date with all of those and know them inside out and back to front. So again, if there's anything useful I can do or say with those in mind, then give me a shout. I will stop talking and let the rest of you say something lovely too. But yeah, here's my email address.
So brilliant to have you back, Vicky. It's great to see you again.
To be back. Happy days.
Right, I think it's time. Unless I've missed anybody, please say, just unmute yourself if I've missed you. But I think that's all of our arts providers have done their quick updates, and so now it's over to Alice, I think, and Martin to.
Right, so I've been charged with doing the share content bit.
Okay.
I'm going to get a window, and here we are.
Thanks, Martin.
Is that visible by one and all?
Yes.
Hang on, I'll get it onto full screen, sorry. How's that? Alice, just tell me when you want to move onwards and forwards, and I'll do the rest.
Great. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Kathy. So as I introduced myself earlier, I'm Alice Ellsmore and I'm at Welbeck Primary School. And we have some exciting news that we've been successful in our application to the Arts Council to be a creativity collaborative. And I must say thanks as well to our amazing team that helped to write the bid, including Kathy, including Rick that you've met from Ignite, but also Martha Toogood. And also those conversations that we had in the really early stages, Martin, Linda Abbott, lots of people have been involved in trying to get there. And in early October, so the application went in July, right at the end of the summer term. And we had an anxious wait until October when we found out that we were successful. So what is it, I think, is probably the next slide, maybe, Martin. So Arts Council have released funding, which is £2.78 million to build a network of schools across the UK to test a range of strategies for teaching for creativity. And the fundings come from Arts Council and the Freelands Foundations. Grants have been awarded to 8 different collaboratives across the UK, as I said, so that 2.78 million shared between those 8 collaborative groups. The project is officially starting in January and runs until July 2024. So it's about a 3-year project, and it's a pilot project that the Arts Council are running. How can schools work together with networks of schools to really test out pedagogy, to work together, to explore, and it is a real testing ground. I had a really interesting meeting this morning with the evaluation team. I'll talk to you later about that, but we were talking about how this is very new and it's all about exploring pedagogy, exploring approaches, and evaluating the impact, what's the impact on the pupils, the schools and the communities. There's a web link there if you want to read a bit more about it on the Arts Council website. Thanks, Liv, for your comment now. Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Let's go on. So this just says that there's 8 different cohorts, and the web link there has got a list of all the different creative collaborative groups and their kind of focus points. So that's quite a nice web link. Maybe we'll put those in the comments as well in the chat so everyone can access those at their leisure.
We can share the slides as well, Alice, can't we? So
yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
great.
No problem at all. The Creativity Collaboratives is in response to the Durham Commission report on creativity in education, and so as a whole project, the 8 different creative collaborative groups and the evaluation of all of those projects will feed back to the Arts Council, the Durham Commission, and it is intended that hopefully DFE will also hear what we've got to say through the research, and that hopefully this won't be you know, just one standalone project, but it will be far-reaching as well. Let's move on, Martin.
No, the battery's running out.
Oh no. So as I explained, Durham University are taking the overarching evaluation. So they're evaluating the whole of the Creativity Collaboratives projects, so each 8 of the areas. And they are looking at the impact. They're also, though, giving us support. So each Creativity Collaborative group is running its own evaluation of its own work, because everyone is working within their own network of schools, and they've all taken on their own research project. So we're keeping our local evaluation, but Durham is leading the overarching evaluation there. I don't think I need to say any more about that one. Let's move on. So our network, our funding that we've been awarded. So Welbeck Primary are the lead school, and within that, Rebecca Gittins is our head teacher, so she's the lead. I'm the deputy, and we've got a small team within school coordinating it, administrating it. But we have 12 schools in our network, and they are schools in their NST. Although NST is more schools, 36, I think, Pat. We've got 12 schools for this Creativity Collaboratives group. The intention is to keep that small so that we can really evaluate the impact, but there is an intention to start to share wider and wider as the years go on. We have a steering group, which Kathy is involved with, and Pat Fielding, and also Professor Christine Hall from Nottingham University, and also advisory group. And we've got some creative practitioners and organisations on that advisory group, but there is always room for us to invite more people onto that group. So if you're thinking, oh, I'd really like to know more, I'd really like to offer some support, please do get in touch to be part of that advisory group. As our work is about exploring teaching for creativity, we're not just thinking about the arts disciplines, but we really want to think about STEM, design, engineering, and digital technologies as well. So we want to be working with organisations and practitioners across all those disciplines, embedding that work into the curriculum and looking at what is teaching for creativity and what's the impact it has on our children. I think the next slide goes into our research question. There it is, look at that. So our application group, we work together on our research question. So how do we nurture our children's innate creative capacity and sustain their curiosity about the world? We really feel that this is important to research, because we feel that children have got an innate creative capacity, and we want to be able to equip them with skills for their future. What the ever-changing world of work, what will it be? We want them to be able to be equipped for that. We want to be able to develop their wellness and their academic potential as well for the future. So we've got 4 different elements that we're going to look at. So Martin, the first one is teacher learning. And it's really important, I think, to say at this point is that our project, our creative is really based on a reflective practice. So all the way through, we want to be able to build in time to reflect, to discuss, to feedback, to share that learning, and then feed that back into the activities that we do. So our first area, teacher learning, is about being able to do that reflective practice, is that cycle of reflecting and then applying back into the work and learning from each other. The second area, complementarity, is about working together, working with creative practitioners, teachers, creative practitioners working together, sharing knowledge, learning from each other, learning with each other. So we want to be able to evaluate that, how those partnerships work. The third area is about place, And it's been fantastic this evening just hearing about all the great work that's going on, the fantastic opportunities that we can get involved with in our city. What makes Nottingham so special? You know, we're recognising that Nottingham's got some really important work going on. We've heard about some of them today and those fantastic opportunities, but also the wish to be carbon neutral by 2028, the STEM City Partnership, Broadmarsh development. I walk past it on my way to work, and it's ever changing. But we want to be able for our children to have that sense of place. We know that it's having local resources will help children to engage, and they're more easily accessible and available as well. So what is it about Nottingham that makes our city special and that we can bring into the classroom to look at that curiosity and creativity? And the final area is sustainability. So how can we make this change? How can we make the change lasting? So we're looking at what do we need to look at in terms of school systems, governance, leadership, but also creating a place where we can explore together and how we can embed that and make that continue and sustain. So I think the next slide's really just looking at those things, the research question in those 4 areas. And I wanted to use this opportunity really to ask this group, what questions have you got about that, or what links does our research question make in your mind about work that's going on, work that's planned? Are there any examples of teaching for creativity that you'd like to share here? Maybe you could put them in the chat, or if anyone's got anything that they'd like to say at this point.
All very quiet. Alice, is this the end of it? Because we can go just sort of have a question session. I wasn't quite sure how many more slides there were.
Yeah, no, I think we can finish here and have any questions.
It'd be easier to do questions from that. Yeah, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So, I mean, from my perspective, it's a phenomenally exciting project, and we're ever so lucky to get it. And we've got loads of hands up now. I can just see that, so I'll shut up. So who we got putting hands up? Let's have a look. Oh, there we are. Pat.
Oh yeah, I just want to say you're right, Alice. There are 36 schools in the trust, and of course, concentrating on those 12 first really makes sense, doesn't it? But I think for everybody on the call, if you've ever been involved in one of these bids, Alice has commandeered and then kind of managed a really quite significant piece of work, and Rick and I both kind of got clammy-handed, I guess. I had very little to do with the writing of it, if anything. I think it is remarkable that you got this opportunity, Alice, and I agree with Martin. Really very excited, and it comes at a time when we've always known we should be offering that broad and rich and deep curriculum, and I know Martin is a real proponent of that kind of style of delivery. So but it sits with that huge drive coming up from London, isn't it? With senior most inspectors up and down the nation saying this curriculum should be engaging, and particularly for the children in our schools. I mean, Nottingham is one of the most, children are deprived of so many opportunities. This is just fantastic, Alice, and I'm really excited about it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pat.
And again, I like the idea of eventually. What are your thoughts on about rolling this out? Sort of, there's the 12 schools, the pebble in the pond, the ripples that go out. How can people get engaged and benefit, I suppose, from this wonderful piece of work, Alice? What are your thoughts on that initially?
Yeah, thanks, Martin. So initially, yes, we are going to keep within our network of 12 schools, because we know that even just within one school, there is a certain amount of dissemination and the time that it takes and the work to go into making sure that all of the staff members in that school and the pupils and the families have got the information and are communicated. So that's the first level. Then within the 12 schools, we're setting up a community of practice. So that's for those 12 schools within the network, but also for creative practitioners to join us. And that will be an information sharing, professional development opportunities as well. Then the next layer is obviously within our NST network. So as Pat said, there's 36 schools we want to be able to share with them. And then this platform here that Kathy has, and you with the Cultural Rucksack and Challenge, we want to be able to share with the city and our wider partners and the wider schools. So I think it will ripple out, and it will take its time, but the intention is definitely to share the practice and the pedagogies that are working and work well. There is also intention to share within the Arts Council, the Creativity Exchange website. So on there are already different case studies about creativity, teaching for creativity. And eventually some of our case studies will be on there as well. So it'll have more of a national look as well.
Excellent. Are there any questions from anybody? Oh, stunned silent. They must have been actually blown away by it, I think.
Thanks, Martin.
Yeah, we know where you are, and I guess folks can always sort of channel any inquiries directly through to you. So it's, this is just probably hopefully the start of the process. And yeah, we'd love to get regular inputs when we can through these meetings as well. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Should I move on, Kathy, to the next bit?
Yeah, that would be fabulous. And just quickly, Jude has joined us from Beatfeet, but she's just come into the meeting. So just wanted to say hi to Jude as well. And hopefully we'll have a couple of minutes to share your opportunity for next year and training as well. So sorry, Martin. Yeah, carry on.
Okay, I'm just hoping. Oh, a spoiler. That's a spoiler. What am I doing? Get up here. Right. Okay. Let's just get that on full screen. That's what you're going to get. Well, hey, so just as a bit of an update. This is what we're all about, and I think you're beginning to get a feel for what we're trying to achieve. I mean, certainly the work we just heard from Alice, I mean, that fits in beautifully well. It doesn't cover everything, but it fits in really well with the approach that we're trying to encourage. So that's why I'm so personally excited about that particular project. So where have we got to then in terms of our work around Cultural Rucksack over the last few weeks since we last reported? Oh, hang on, it's not moving forward. It is now. So looking down the green bits, the things that we've developed. If I just move to the red bit. So one of the things that we were asked to do right from the beginning was a cultural map. And so in conversation with Marie and Kathy, we're looking at producing a booklet which will outline this core offer, which I'll go on to in just a minute with a bit more detail, because we've gathered some more information from our arts and cultural colleagues about what they feel is their core offer. And we've heard some of that today already. So we've already heard from the Contemporary, we've heard from Girls of Justice, those, what the core offers are. And that's the thing we're trying to make sure everybody is aware of across the city, so that people can then effectively plan, if appropriate, their curriculums around that, so they can see what's there and how they can build that into the curriculum planning within the school. So work around that's progressed really well. We're moving on to a booklet which will hopefully share some of the information, but also, as many people are saying, we don't know where the offers are, so there'll be some map on there just to show you where all the providers are. And that's in the process of being produced. Anything else you want to add to that, Kathy, while I'm on that particular subject? We had a really useful meeting the other day about that, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it's just mainly that there are a few just arts partners that we're chasing for more details before we can finally pull it all together. Yeah. But so much is on our website already. So please do look at the Challenge Nottingham website that Maria looks after. I think Maria's here, but she does a phenomenal job kind of gathering together all of this information and putting it within newsletters and on the website. So we really want you all to have something in your hand as well, because I think that can be really, really useful to have something that lasts a fairly long time. So we are concentrating on the core offers, the things that won't change too much, or not the short-term projects, but the things that you can kind of depend on year in, year out. So yeah.
Excellent. And one of the things we're looking at doing as an outcome of that is making sure we have more effective links between, or longer term links and relationships between providers and schools. I mean, Laura was saying about Freedom Foundation, the work they're doing with Walter Halls, for example. That's a classic example of the sort of thing we're looking to try and encourage arts and cultural professionals to develop with you, because we know that the impact of that is so much more effective, I suppose, in terms of learning outcomes on young people. I mean, we've got Green Lights in the City. I mean, Rick's kind of outlined that, and that's a brilliant opportunity that's been taken up to really get art, culture and creativity embedded and easily accessible to so many more people in the city. So that's a lovely initiative. Other bits and pieces we've been up to, well, we're working on the side of this as well. But then, yeah, I've had another chat with Andrew Smith at Nottingham City Council about trying to pull together some central bookings and transport around helping schools get to the places that they want to go to across the city to engage with culture and the arts. So I've had another conversation, and we're taking that on, and we're really keen to develop an offer around that in the near future. So that's good news. And also around one of the areas I'm still wanting some advice and support on, which hopefully I will get a little bit today, is around the skills framework and the progressive curriculum entitlement. And that will be really important, because that will help shape how I pull together, if you like, a lot of the work that I've done around looking at curriculum, cultural curriculum in particular, across the city. So that's the bit I really want to get onto, because that's the bit I'm most excited about. Laura said we've a little while ago, we put together this framework. Initially, it had a lot more columns on this, but I've simplified it just to look at sort of identified curriculum areas. So in this case, we've got music and drama and film, and then the organisations within the city who offer something linked to that, and then a little summary of their core offer. Previous versions of this, and I've still got them, also have a fourth column after the curriculum one, which outlines sort of learning outcomes as well. So we can link learning outcomes to organisations to offer. It's very generic, very frameworky, but it will give people a little bit of an idea. So I was wanting some thoughts potentially on this, because we can lay out information in lots of different ways. And this is just going down the list. I mean, it goes on for 3 or 4 pages, as you could imagine, coming. I've got PSHE on there and citizenship, for example. So just looking at the key providers and what the core offer is and linking to there. So is that, I mean, just asking a question out there, I know you're all very quiet at the moment, is that the sort of layout useful for schools or not? Do you want some more information in there about learning outcomes that go alongside it? Or is it just in terms of, I suppose, you know, looking at Vicky's almost like new artist dating agency, just looking at what's on offer and who can deliver it? Is that the sort of level that people would like? I'm going to come out of here just so we can have a little chat about that first off. So any thoughts about, because really how I pull together this information is going to be important. I want to pull it together in a way that makes sense to you, not necessarily to me. Because it's not for me at all. It's for you guys. Any thoughts on that? Just is that the sort of thing that would be useful for staff in schools?
I think you're getting a few nodding heads. Does anyone want to say anything?
You can, well.
I'll kick off if you like. Yeah, I mean, it looks brilliant, because really what you need is a type of directory, really, aren't you? So an outcomes column might be useful, might not be, but actually as a member of staff you're going to be finding out lots more information. You just need to know, you just need to be signposted, and then actually you're going to be doing your own outcomes and yes, sort of taking it from there anyway. So I think actually other people might disagree, but I think actually you might end up spending a lot of time doing a column, which is great, but actually people would use and adapt it anyway. So I think the most important thing is that directory and being able to signpost, you know, we need this, where do we go, and where is the core offer that we could, you know, be plugging those gaps. So no, Martin, I think that looks amazing.
We can put the links in as well. So we just listed them there, but obviously there'll be links one sort or another. So that's
perfect.
Right, we'll carry on. Any other thoughts on that before I carry on with the next piece?
Martin, it's Pat here again. Sorry, I agree with Julie. I think it's really useful having these directions. I can hear what Julie's saying about outcomes. I'm thinking of it from the perspective of a less well-seasoned practitioner. I suppose if you've got outcomes, you can kind of marry, because you're going to be going to your senior leaders and saying, can we send a group of children out, and a senior leader is always fixed on outcomes and value added and so on. So it might be useful to have the outcomes so you can see how it ties in. But yeah, I take Julie's point. I think having a directory is great, as long as it keeps up
done in a way, because it is actually straightforward if you tie it to the national curriculum. So
Yeah.
you can pop it out. So it might be we do it in a couple of different ways, and then you just pick and choose the one that's most readily and easily accessible for you. So we can do it. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, always my fear of having directories, Julie, is when some of the offers fall off the map and you go to edit down. So it's keeping that up to date, Martin, which is a bit of a drag for you, isn't it? And I don't know if there's any way technology can eliminate organisations that either disappear off the map or change in shape. And
yeah, I mean, hopefully, but obviously the handbook, a lot of this is on the website as well. So that,
of course,
that people go in day in, day out, but the handbook will give at least an overview at a point in time, which is, I think, quite useful for folks. I'll press on if I may, because I know time is moving on. And let me just get back to my windows. Okay. So next thing I've done, or started doing, I'm part way through, is going through all of your curriculum. What a joy. So I've done about 20-ish so far. I've gone through all the curriculums, they're all on the website, because you're all very good at putting them on the website, but then you have to. Looking at each year group and the key themes term by term, and looking at the arts and design link, everything on there. So again, another way in which a lot of primary schools, I suppose, present their curriculum is through topics, inverted commas. You can see you'll be familiar with all those themes there, perhaps. So the most popular one by far, that every school I've looked at so far has got something on planets, stars and space. Stone Age seems quite popular too. Local area and city, which is good, because that for me then brings me to this point about sense of place. And links ties in quite nicely with creative collapses. So we should all, within delivering our curriculum, be looking at the local area. I mean, obviously, many of you know that my is outdoor learning in particular. So understanding the area you live in, what it has to offer, how does nature, environment, and humans sort of interact. And that's evidenced in quite a few curriculum, which is great to see. And then we've got the great Greeks and the amazing Brits and the vicious Vikings, and my ever favourite, the Great Fire of London. Just to let you know, by the way, that the castle was burnt down once in the 1830s. It might be quite interesting doing projects on that as well. It's quite local. And Victorians, World War I, World War II, so the caves will be great for that. Extreme rocks and earth, which again is something else that's popular. I've gone right through the whole lot. There must be something like about 40 different categories, most of them running along these particular themes. So one of the points that came up last time was, is it worth trying to allocate some of our directory or some of our directory space to where our local provision can perhaps service topics in this particular way? Because that's how you deliver your curriculums on paper, folks, because I've seen them all. Okay, you'll be familiar with that. There are differences, and I'll come on to those in a minute because they're interesting. So in addition to looking at curriculum subjects, we've also got these topic areas. And I know when we first started this journey, people say, oh, we'd love to find more out about the canals around Nottingham and how that could feed in the arts and culture that went along with that, because it's fascinating, by the way. So how can we do that? But this Canal Museum's gone now. Not many of you might even remember it. And what can we do instead? So there's topics there that I know you're all doing. Would it also be useful to have, or to look at how some of our city provision can link into that to support you? So that's another question. I've got Jane putting thumbs up down there. So any thoughts on that? Be brave and shout out. Because it's something we talked about a while ago. And again, it's a little bit of work, but I've got time to do it. And
you can answer these questions in the chat if you want.
Yeah, of course you can.
Just respond in the chat if you just say, yes, Mark,
yeah.
Give us, because we can go back to the providers. I have an operations meeting with lots of arts providers on the 30th of November, and they need to know how you want, how you're wanting them to develop their programs.
Precisely.
And so, yeah, we just want to really make sure that that's feeding through back to them, I suppose.
this part about the cultural rucksack is about making sure the offer is really linked, to what you're delivering, how we can support it, how we can expand it and change it, as the Creative Collaboratives project will hopefully show us. I love the idea of looking at pedagogy as well, because that's the other area I'm really interested in. So I'm just putting that out there. If you've got any thought, you can contact us. So please do, and I might bounce some ideas back off you as well. Okay, I'm going to leap back in. I used to be really bad at leaping in and out of this thing. I'm getting reasonably confident now. It says that's famous last words. Okay, so we were going to get Kerry to come to us today and give an outline of their root and branch curriculum, but unfortunately she couldn't make it. But this is the work that she's been doing. They've developed this, I think it was a sort of skills-based approach that a number of schools in the city used. And as I said previously, all their material is on their website, but I found this really interesting. So I just highlighted it here. And I'll give it a sort of journey that they went on. I've got some notes on this, but the way it's presented is not showing me, so I'll try and think as best I can. So a lot of their subjects within their curriculum document, on their curriculum part of their website, they have subjects all linked in this particular way. So it shows that progressive approach. So here's year 3, for example, the sort of things they're doing. And when I first started this particular project, I'm going to have to try and develop a sort of progressive approach to, arts and design curriculum. Well, I'll be quite honest with you, a lot of the work here has been done for this particular way. So your basic skills on the left, the knowledge that goes alongside it, and the leaf knowledge, the things that make it happen on the far right-hand column. So I thought this was Kerry would speak about this so much more eloquently than I can. And then moving to year 6. So if you're looking at some support around building together art and design curriculum plan, this for me came across really well. So just something else for you to be thinking about, because the information's out there. What she's now looking at as well is putting together some sort of summary curriculum documents for pupils and parents as well. This particular one's, their theme is Rocks, Stone Age, there you go. But highlighting how arts and design and creativity can be brought into that particular subject. And this is a really great summary. So we're looking at shades and patterning of rocks. They've got the key vocabulary that's going to be used throughout this particular topic piece linked to art and design. So there's a really clear link between the topic and how art and design can use it to draw out skills and knowledge. Again, obviously mentioning, you've seen the first bit about Paul Smith, but again, shapes and colours and patterns and how that way. So she's just starting her journey on this, but for me, I thought, yes, it's a really nice step. Not the only school that's doing something like this, by the way. So I think, I don't know if it's Heathfields or not, or I'm not quite sure this came from, but I was particularly struck by this as well as another way of summarising, putting it across curriculum plan for a particular topic. A great key text there, which I'm always very pleased to see. So you can see where the links are in terms of reading, and as a sort of summary document, very, very useful. And we heard about Walter Halls and the work that Laura's doing with them there. And I've shown you this before, but I just wanted to show you again, because again, I'll try and get somebody from the school to come and give us perhaps an outline of how they're thinking around their curriculum. But in the same way that Kerry's pulled together a progressive curriculum through art and design, this is their progressive curriculum in terms of the roadmap of artists, which I think is such a great idea, because there's a few on there I had to have a look at, because I wasn't quite sure what they were. So I've learned a bit just by looking on that myself. So in terms of getting that curriculum material across, I mean, we've got some great modelling. And again, this could be something that the creative collaboratives could be looking at as well. What we can do with existing good practice that's happening across the city, because there is some, and it's really good to see. So I think I've picked up on some of these areas already. Subject areas, yet people are saying some popular topics. I mean, art form is another way we could perhaps look at organising our material. So art form's another way. I'm trying to get on back onto here. Yeah. So on my little thing there, we've looked at subjects. People are saying yes. Art forms and the progression as well. So some progressive stuff. So are those again the sorts of things that I could perhaps try and pull together? Or what I was thinking about doing is putting together, or we can put something on the website, Kathy, can't we? Begin that process of gathering some good ideas and good practice. Yeah. So there's almost like a Dropbox where you can go and find things that other folks are doing, because it's no secret, because it's out there on websites. Pat, is that the sort of thing that you think would be of value?
I do, Martin, and I don't want to say too much because I've already interrupted the flow twice and rambled on. I'll just say yes.
Right. Okay.
Definitely.
So those are the sort of things I'm looking at trying to do to help you in terms of that curriculum planning stuff. So I'll go back into the presentation for the last time. I don't know if I can do that. Hang on.
Martin, while you're finding your place, Emma has put in the chat that in most of the NST schools, they have roadmaps, progression ladders and knowledge organisers that are quite often shared at NST meetings.
Yeah.
So what would be great is making sure that that gets out to the wider city through the Challenge network as well as those that are in the NST network.
Yeah, I'm beginning to pick some of that up, which is great, but not all of them have it on the website. Yes. Knowledgeably. But yes, it is, and they are really useful documents, I have to say. Now, I know last time I came in and talked about some of the stuff that Brocklewood were doing, and if you think about the themes that we were looking at a few minutes ago, and these are their themes for year 1 to year 6, and as you can see, very different. There's no Stone Age, there's no Fire of London, although they do it within here, even. So they've organised it totally differently, and it was a real interesting afternoon I spent just going around the school and having a look at what they do, because not only do they look at this, and there's some great headings on there, but they actually, when you look at the presentations around the school, you can see how they're delivering it. So this is how their more detailed document looks like, and you can see again the headings along the top: autumn term 1, autumn term 2, human rights, our safe place, learning who is to blame, it's not my fault, you know, some of the gender equality. These are at year 1 and year 2, and they have 2 cycles, cycle A and cycle B. So there's some really, it came across to me as a very different way of pulling your curriculum together, but one that was responding to needs of the local community. And the pictures are a bit blurry because I had to put them in a fairly low pixelation, but they work very closely with Shamila Chandy in the earlier, and still do, I think, as an artist in residence. There's some work done around diversity and equality, for example. And that work with Shamila and the use of a community artist over a long period of time, I think has really made the difference. And I know Ruth at New Art Exchange was keen that I sort of highlighted that, but just going around. So here we've got further displays around healthy relationships. Not doing my literacy very good there, is it? But some excellent displays. I've copied it, the cut and pasted there, obviously. And again here about gender type, so that and looking at how uniform could be changed in order to sort of be a more neutral uniform, which is really quite interesting. So some great topics and projects, some excellent writing for years 3s and 4s. And here we've got a great follow-up work from Phoebe Boswell as well, who I think has done some exhibitions at NAE and Contemporary in the past. And she's a young, multi-dimensional artist. Does work in lots of different formats. But again, some really good stuff. And this is a fantastic, I thought it was a great display. Look at self-portraits over time as well, because some schools often do a self-portrait perhaps in year 3 or 4, and then, you know, do you still keep that and look at it and compare for what they might be doing as a self-portrait in year 5 and 6? But the work was excellent, and just displayed in a very different way, but imaginative in a creative way. So I'll jump out of that now and get back to here. Yeah. So I just wanted to have a little taster of the sorts of things that are happening around the city. Hopefully it's sort of things, oh yes, that's interesting. It'd be great to have some meets at schools, he said, because that's where you really then begin to see on the ground some practice and how it happens. But as I say, part of my role is just outlining that, showing how, you know, you can develop and change things if you want to, what resources in terms of provision around professional support we get across the city that could help you. So there we are. I hope that's of use, Kathy.
Martin, yeah, it's brilliant, and we will share all of these things. We'll send out an email so that you've got the various presentations that you've seen tonight, and pull it all together. I know that it's 5 o'clock, but I just wanted to just plug some of the training that Jude has got going on to make use of all your drums that are in cupboards, so that you all feel really confident in using them with your classes. So Jude, just for like a minute, Could you just quickly let everyone know what you're doing?
Have we got any teachers left? I think most people have left. Busy day, okay. Hi everybody, I'm Jude from Beat Feet Drumming. I'm based in Nottingham. I must have been in some of your schools at some point, and I trained as a secondary teacher, and it was never as exciting as that, Martin, all that planning and preparation that's going on. I so trained for the wrong age, but at the moment I have some free training that will take place between January and March in 2022, and it's for teachers of any key stage, and you can learn how to use the djembes that are lying around in your schools. You can learn to use the samba instruments, the Indian dul instruments that might be lying around. It's free of charge, supported by Arts Council England, and if you're on Facebook, that's the only place I've put it at the moment. There's a poster there with contact details on as well on Beat Feet Limited's Facebook page. Okay, you're very welcome to get in touch and take part.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Jude. So yeah, brilliant. It's been such a brilliant hour and a half. I think we've heard loads, and I know I'm buzzing. So I hope that you all are too, and that it's gone dark outside. We all need to go home and have our tea, but it's brilliant to see you all. Really appreciate your contributions and sharing.
Just one thing before we go, if you've got any great bits of practice that you want to share, please give me a shout. It'd be great to hear about it. That's what this is about, supporting each other.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks so much, everybody. Let us know, just be in touch with us anytime, let us know that what we're doing is useful and how we can make things better. All the best.
Okay, cheers. Bye everybody.